All right. Hi, everyone. I am here live with Kevin Walker and Hope Hamilton, winners of the Mayan Challenge. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
I'm doing awesome.
Good. Great. All right. So I'm super excited to have you guys on, and I have a bunch of questions for each of you. But overall, Kevin and Hope, we can start with Kevin. How did the Mayan Challenge feel for you? What was the event like? Did you enjoy it?
Oh man, the Mayan Challenge was an awesome experience. Again, I've gone to this tournament at least 2 times before, so this one was nothing short of amazing. This was my second social distance type tournament. I just loved how they ran the sessions and everything was just organized. So I got there very early, so I was able to kind of unwind, decompress, and then when it was time to go, we had our own space to get going, and it was just smooth sailing from there.
Yeah,
That's great.
kind of,
Hope?
it's not really the same for me. Kind of, it was my first social distance tournament and also my first Mayan challenge. And I think overall, I really, really liked it. Um, yeah, it was pretty good experience. It was different, but it was good.
Yeah, I think there's definitely takeaways that like doing it in the sessions that make the tournament more effective and run better that we can sort of carry over into the tournament season as we move forward. But I have yet to go to an in-person tournament, so I'm kind of living vicariously through everybody. The first question I have for Kevin is, you started Swift coaching in 2019. How is that going, and what's that look like?
Oh man, so Swift Coaching is just this platform that I use to kind of reach as many martial artists as possible. Basically, my goal is to impact as many people and to leave the sport in a better condition than it was when it found me. And so basically, I already had lots of people that I went and coached and trained individually, and lots of people were just really interested in getting that type of tutelage. So with all the technology, I decided to use the platform of Facebook to create a closed group where people actually subscribe to access me 24/7. They can FaceTime me. They can send me questions at all times. I break down all of their fight videos that they upload into the group. And then each week I leave a drill and a strength and conditioning circuit and also a motivational mindset. So it's just something clever that I came up with, and it's always evolving by the day. So right now we have about 40 members, and it's just really cool. Oh no.
Now I'm not sure if you guys can hear me.
Okay,
I
now.
think you're back. Yeah, no, okay, we're back. Yeah, definitely, but I heard that. Uh, can you see Hope in there?
No.
I'm here.
Yeah, I think she
Oh my
hopped out.
god.
But if you could just leave and then come back, I think you'll be good, Hope.
Okay.
But yeah, Kevin, I remember on Instagram a few weeks ago, you posted a bunch of videos of you getting a point and then not getting the call for it, which I personally found very entertaining to watch. But I know as a fighter, it's so aggravating in the ring. So I wanted to ask you, what are some flaws in our officiating system, and how do you think we can fix them, if at all, or is it just human error?
Yeah, so you literally hit it on the head. It's human error, and it's going to be something that's always going to be there. But the way to improve upon it is, people being humble enough to accept when things aren't, the best, and just trying to grow from it. And a lot of times with these calls, they're bang bang exchanges. They're super quick. Anybody can miss it if you blink for just the half second, or if you're in the wrong position, you're going to miss it. And so for me as a fighter, it's forced me to grow and become better, because you have to make it clean enough where any judge can see it. So
Mm-hmm.
many times when I score a point and I know it connected and I didn't get the call, rather than get frustrated, more times I try to figure out why that person didn't see it. I try to, because a lot of times I'm a judge and people yell at me for not calling a point. And sometimes I'll see a point and it's like, no, it wasn't good enough, or I just didn't see it. So having worn both hats, I try as a fighter to look at it from a different perspective, but at the same time, it is aggravating when you know you hit somebody and they didn't call it.
Definitely. Yeah, I can agree, and I'm sure Hope does too.
Yeah.
So Hope, I see you're wearing Team Legend. So what drew you from, I know you're on Team Bring It, to Team Legend?
Actually, I mean, like, Team Bring It was my first, like, national competition team, so it just kind of opened up different doors for me, and from being on Team Bring It, it helped me to become the kind of person that I wanted to be in the martial arts world, and it also opened up different relationships for me. Being on that team, I'm extremely grateful for Rick giving me the opportunity to be on the team. But I eventually made the switch actually to Team Unity first, and then after Team Unity, then Mr. Tony gave me an opportunity to be on Team Legend. So overall, I'm just really grateful to be a part of such amazing teams, all three of them. Just there's lessons in each team that you kind of take with you onto your journey, and there's things that go bad, there's things that go great, and you just kind of try to take it with you as you go forward, because I mean, we're all so young, so there's going to be plenty of other opportunities out there for all of us, and I think we just have to kind of learn through it, build relationships with people, and yeah, just keep going.
Yeah, definitely. So much of martial arts is not just the competition aspect, but it's the lessons that we take from each day and each tournament and each experience. So Kevin, I know that you're in between weight classes. What is your strategy when you get to a tournament deciding, whether you're going to fight heavyweight versus lightweight?
So for the most part, it's not really that I'm between weight classes. Like my true weight, I walk around at 165. Weighed in this past weekend at 164. For the most part, if I'm not in my true weight classes, because myself and the rest of my team, we're making a plan to divide and conquer. And me being the piece that feels like I can go in any division and win. I'm the one that's like, okay, I don't care about chasing points. I'll go to this division so that we can meet in the finals, or I'll go to this division because this guy's talking crap and I want to smack him. So that's pretty much just how it goes. What was the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I guess that really does answer it. That's how you decide what, you're able to go to whatever weight class, that day you feel like, or whether it's your team, so you can divide and conquer. Yeah, that's very interesting. So sort of going off of weight class, Hope, what's your strategy when you're fighting a heavier weight? I know we were talking about you're about 120 pounds, so you're in the super light division. What's your strategy when you're fighting a heavier weight female fighter versus a lightweight that's around your size? So say you're fighting a Morgan versus you're fighting a Gina.
Right. That's a really good question, and you get that a lot, especially with females. Like, the height and the weight difference is so different. So me personally, I like to use what I have to my advantage. Like, to me, and people may disagree with me, like taller fighters may disagree or bigger fighters may disagree, but I think being smaller will actually have a better advantage than being bigger, taller, bigger just in general. So for me, being short, I can actually pinpoint where I want to hit, exactly how I want to do it. Rather than being bigger, you kind of have to kind of hope for the best because they're so tiny. Their body is just so little. Like, for me, it's a lot easier for me to move around and move quicker and, use up that 2 minutes without getting tired than it is for somebody bigger, more muscle mass, having to carry that around for 2 minutes. So to me personally, it's just a little bit easier. So that's just the mindset that I go in, fighting somebody like Morgan Plowden. So she's obviously taller than I am, or even whenever you and I were fighting there for a good while. So just like going in, like knowing like this girl's taller than I am, she's a little bit bigger than me. I'm like, it's okay. I'm faster. That's just my whole mindset going in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, it's a mental thing sometimes for me, I find it. So Kevin, I was, rewatching the post show from Battle of Atlanta. And you said that battle was 10 minutes away from you. And, you've been following the COVID guidelines pretty strictly and taking the pandemic seriously. So what sort of brought you out to the Mayan Challenge and to Daytona Beach, Florida?
All right. So it's a funny story because I was actually watching the Blitz Mayan Challenge post show, and Jeremy Roque kind of dropped the gem in there that not a lot of people know. He was just asking, "Hey, does Kevin live in Orlando?" And Murphy was like, "I haven't heard that, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of clear up everything." Yes, I'm in Orlando. So,
Oh,
yeah. The battle is crazy. So when all the tournaments happened and they were like, okay, the battle's going to happen, I was like, great, I'm still going to be in Atlanta when the battle happens. And then they're like, oh, the Blitz Mayan Challenge is doing $50 a head. And I was like, okay, well, if that caps off, I'm actually going to be in Florida. So we're going to push up to that. So I was literally in Florida. So the tournament happened. I was like, how far is Daytona again? And it was literally 50 minutes from my apartment in Florida. So shot there and
wow.
the rest is
That's
history.
What perfect timing.
Yeah, right. But I'm currently in Atlanta. I came back today, and as of last week, I'm toying with the decision to kind of do the back and forth thing because I have clients that I'm serving in Atlanta right now, and because I was preparing to move, I kind of already set up futures of being with clients in Florida. So I might just kind of do the back and forth thing until I get
Interesting. So that opens up 2 states for you. 2 states to pick up some money in some tournaments and take some names.
Exactly. And like the local and regional Florida scene is crazy. Like it's like a national or international level event anytime. And like I've been fighting in Florida since I was a child. So, as an adult, just having the opportunity to do it more often and not spend a lot of money to get there, I'm with it. So
yeah,
you'll see me pop out at a lot of these regionals.
Especially because the NASCAR tour is canceled for in-person this year. So I know you guys have been utilizing and going to all the ones that have been available to you guys. So can you hear me all right? You're just lagging a little bit. Yeah, you can hear me fine. Okay. So Hope, I have a question for you. We were the up-and-coming juniors at 1.3 years ago. Do you keep an eye out, for the juniors coming up now that we're in adult division?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. You mean you have to?
What are some names?
I wish I could hear her.
Oof. For the junior division, right now, kind of the only person I'm looking at is my teammate Natalie. Mostly because her and I fight so similar, and every time we get together and spar with each other inside the dojo, it's always super tough for me to fight with her because it's literally like looking at a reflection of yourself. It's so difficult sometimes. She irritates me, but I have fun. She's definitely like on my top hit list, so shout out to Natalie.
Yeah, you guys are both great fighters.
Thank you.
But she has, I think she's 15, so you have some time before.
Yeah, a little bit of time to get ready for her, but yeah, she's definitely one of the top. There's some others, I can't put a name on it, but there's definitely some others out there that I've been looking at and watching. I think there was a pickup on Velocity that I've been looking at, some other teams as well. I know TDE, Team Dojo Elite, has one girl. She's really, really good. So yeah, there's a couple out there that are going to be up and coming here soon. So I think in the next 5 years, that division is going to be heated, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be really exciting. There's going to be a lot of numbers and a lot of talent in addition to what's all there already. So I have a question for you both. Just like basketball and just like soccer, sometimes when your team is playing an opponent that has less experience, you sometimes go down to their level. How do you guys manage? How do you guys fight people who have less experience than you, and how do you adjust to that?
Okay, I'll go. Okay. So for me, I try not to, like embarrass them too much with doing, moves that I can do super easily on them. It's just not really my belief in fighting them like that because I already know that I can beat them. So honestly, I try to do things that I'm not so great at. Like, for example, let's say if throwing a back fist isn't one of my specialty moves, I'll try to do that a little bit more just because I know this person is a little bit inexperienced. And I think it's like bringing up the next generation. Like, this person may or may not be taking my place if and when I retire. So if I discourage them and make them not want to fight anymore, then we've lost that next Hope Hamilton, or, we've lost that next female fighter. So I really try not to discourage other people whenever I fight them. I have a great respect for everybody that I fight. I try to build those relationships with people. So I try to think of it like that whenever I go in to fighting a little more inexperienced people.
Definitely.
I guess it's my turn now. When I knowingly have that approach and I'm in the right mindset, I just try to exploit it, and be as competitive as possible. But other times, just having done this so often, when it's, a fight that you're quote unquote supposed to win, sometimes you just, not necessarily overlook it, but like, when you're in school and it's like an exam on something that you knew previously, like you don't even worry about studying for it. It's kind of like that. So sometimes, you get caught up in a match, and the other person sees you in front of them, and they're giving you their best match. So sometimes, you get behind the eight ball, and then you have to make an adjustment. But for the most part, whenever I'm in my right mindset and I'm feeling well, we exploit that, and it's usually a quick match. But other times you can play to their level, and at that point, it's a fight.
Yeah. And then it becomes a level playing field when you do that. So another question for you both: do you watch film? Do you go back after a tournament and watch film, or do you sort of say it's in the past and you move on and focus on the next one yourself?
Ladies first.
Well, honestly, I may be a little overboard on this, but yes, absolutely. I make sure that I get my fights recorded all the time, and immediately after I fight, whether I win or lose, and I'll just have that person like, hey, can you send me that fight? I'll be in the hotel room watching my fight that night. I'll be like at the finals watching my fight, like right then and there, always trying to adjust something that I did. Because I try to make no two fights the same exact way, because if I'm watching film on myself, I know other people are watching film on me too. But definitely, yeah, you have to watch video on yourself. You have to. If you want to be extremely good in this sport, I feel like that is one of like the necessary keys.
So,
Kevin?
I grew up watching all the fights, all the tournaments. Like if I went to the tournament, I would watch all the fights. If I didn't go to the tournament, I would watch all the fights twice. So now when I go to the tournament, you have the streams, you have the luxury of that. I'll go back and watch my fights, or like a couple key fights. Like if I missed like other weight fights, I'll watch some matchups of guys that I want to watch. But for the most part, I don't watch other guys anymore. Especially guys that I'm fighting, I try to not watch their stuff. Like I had a conversation with Trevor Nash a couple years back in Quebec. And he was like, man, like I prefer the Kevin Walker that just goes out there and fights, because I see you trying to counter what guys are doing right now, and it's working. But you can impose your will on anybody. And from that moment on, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm about to stop watching these guys, because I can watch a guy fight for 30 seconds and figure them out really quick. So I only watch myself. So after a tournament, I'll go back and watch my fight once or twice, and after that, I'm done. We're on to the next.
Right. Got it. Two slightly different approaches, but still utilize film, which is interesting. So I have one final question, and I wanted to end on like a lighthearted but controversial topic in martial arts, which is: do you train both sides or one side, and why? And why is your way superior?
Well, I used to not train both sides until moving with Tony and training with him. He's like a cold hard believer that you have to train both sides. And I used to not think that, but it's definitely changed my game a little bit in fighting, working on both sides. So I have to say that it was a plus. It was a good add-on to the arsenal. I don't know why I haven't been doing it, but my kicks on my left side have gotten so much better. Moving on the left side, it's feeling a lot better for me. I'll even just fight on the left side instead of my right side. Sometimes I'll switch between the two. It's weird, but I feel like now that I'm doing it, it is very essential, especially if you want to be a fighter. If you just want to be somebody that spars inside of the dojo, you know, goes to a couple tournaments here and there, then I don't really see the point in going, like, taking that extra step, going that extra mile. But if this is something that you really want to do and you really want to be very good at it, you want to be a fighter, you want to be known, then yeah, I think you have to add that into what you're already doing, working both the left and the right, just to be comfortable on both sides, because you never know, something could happen. You get turned around, you get flipped, and now you're on the side that you never work on, and then like you're gonna lose the fight because you don't work on that side. It's not a very good excuse. So for me, working on both sides has definitely helped my game a lot.
Kevin, what's your take?
Well, I train both sides, and I don't want to sound like this, but I don't have a bad side. I have a strong side and I have a dominant side. So I actually train my strong side probably more than my dominant side, just so they can even out. I'm just more comfortable in tournaments on my dominant side because, you know, that's where I've been training for the longest. And when I was younger, I used to kick better on my right side and blitz better on my left side until, like, you know, one of my instructors was like, hey man, like, I can tell what you're doing when you switch sides. So I began to master it. And, you know, from practicing that side for so long, it got so much better. But, you know, I always train both sides whenever I'm in class. So for a couple of years, I was actually only training my offside in training. So like now they're pretty equal. My left side is actually probably more flexible and I have more control because I have to focus more. But I'm quicker on my right side, you know, and it's more of a reflex thing rather than a reaction thing. So that's why I kind of stick to what I do. But, you know, there's some times where you might see me switch it up. And that's why my style is superior.
Where you're going.
Yeah, and that's why my way is superior too, because, you know, you never know when you might get kicked in the leg and that leg hurts. Or, oh man, or when a tall guy from Legend falls in your calf and it still hurts the week after, you know. So yeah, that's fun.
I actually did see that. Yeah,
I don't know if that was a shot or a compliment, but thank you either way.
But yeah, we should that's the next poll Alex should do on Point Fighter. Do you train both sides? Do you train one side and see which one prevails? But thank you guys so much for coming onto Point Fighter Live and Sport Karate Live. I had a great time talking to you. All right, awesome. Great. All right, power, guys.
Power.
Bye.